Okay. Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to the latest edition of the Weekend Wrestle Podcast. This is episode 270. The Maxon Brothers here with you. I'm Nate. That's Aaron.
Hello, everyone.
And we are continuing our series on Clash of the Champions. This week we have reached Clash of the Champions number 24. And it is... Yeah, that's right. Yes, August 8th, August 18th, 1993, not the 8th. August 18th, 1993, Daytona Beach, Florida, at the Ocean Center. And we are T-minus like less than a year. We're less than a year. We're like T-minus 8 months from Hulk Hogan coming in and ruining shit for quite some time.
Yeah, it's just about a year and a half, 2 year butt fucking of WCW.
From when Hogan comes in at Bash at the Beach 94, except for that particular show. Like we've talked about it before on the show. I believe that first Hogan Flair match was exactly everything it needed to be. And we're not going to get too deep in the weeds here, but yeah, from after that until probably, I would even go past the launch of Nitro. I would say until probably the NWO.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like 94 to 96. It's just a 2 year butt fucking.
Well, we're gonna get there here soon, but right now they're just applying the lube a little bit on this one.
Yes.
Clash 24. I know you said you were feeling a tad bit under the weather today. Did you prepare a time machine for us today?
Well,
yeah. Okay.
Just because I don't feel well doesn't mean I'm gonna half-ass my work. The movies are pretty simple. Jurassic Park, I think that was the number one movie last week, right?
Yes. And yeah, I honestly have no guesses for this week. So,
well, it's still Jurassic Park, and the other movie is one of those like I don't like these movies because I think they're boring, and you can tell me I'm wrong. But like those like Tom Clancy and who's that other guy?
that
makes those.
No, Tom Clancy and it's not Dean Koontz. That's not who I'm thinking of.
That guy.
Okay.
Probably. Yeah, like those type of books where it's like political thrillers or whatever. It's like, this is boring. Like, I think this movie is boring. And this movie's kind of boring. It's In the Line of Fire with Clint Eastwood. It's like, I don't know.
Oh, those movies all blend together to me too. Like you said, In the Line of Fire, and I thought In the Line of Fire starring Harrison Ford. No, Harrison Ford was in another one. Like I don't know.
He was in The Fugitive.
No.
Which is a
I
good
like
movie.
The Fugitive. Yeah, no, I was talking about he's in one of those like political espionage, like a Hunt for Red October type movie, but I can't remember which one it is.
Patriot Games.
Yes, I think you're right. I think it's Patriot Games. But yeah, I'm the same way as you. Those movies, they're like all the same movie to me.
Yeah. It's like this is like a movie like I don't know, when these movies came out, some like middle-aged guy that all he does is wear Dockers, like
listen to Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah, he likes that movie.
This is a movie for ditto heads.
Yeah, it's a middle-aged guy, and who ends up like by the end of he's like 52, but by the end of the movie he's like banging like the 45-year-old blonde chick. It's like a mom. Like, what's that? Like, this is the movie that like people that really thought like Walker Texas Ranger was a great show. That guy. Yeah. It's not a terror, it's just a movie. Yeah. But anyway.
Everything isn't for everybody, and that's not for us. I'm not gonna watch Jag. I'm not gonna watch Jag.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, no. Not what I'm gonna do. NCIS wasn't bad until Mark Harmon left, but other than that, like, I'll watch that. That's about as crusty old white guy as I can get.
I'm not gonna lie, I watch Law and Order.
Well, Law and Order is different. Like, there's Law and Orders that are hilarious.
Yeah.
Like when they were talking about
it doesn't matter. It doesn't I was gonna say it doesn't matter how long time goes on though. Jerry Orbach's always the best Law and Order cop. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
Fuck them all. He's the best Law and Order cop.
Yeah, him and Munch.
Yeah. Anyway,
Anyway, and then the top two songs, one of them is good, one of them is terrible. The number one song is I Can't Help Falling in Love with You by UB40, which is a good song. And then the second song, the number two song in America, is by a guy that I've never been a huge fan of. And it's I Will Do Anything for Love, but I Won't Do That by Meatloaf.
see, we differ. We agree on UB40. I like UB40. I dig UB40 actually a lot, and I am actually a Meatloaf guy. I like
He
the
needs
food
to
and
get,
the I like the food and the musician.
I like the food, but he just needs to get to the point. Paradise by a Dashboard Light is okay. And then um I like his song in Rocky Horror Picture Show. But other than that, I'm just like, you need to go
Yeah, I
away,
know.
Meatloaf.
We've always parted ways on the loaf. I like the loaf.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never been a big fan of it. Like I had a friend of mine, or this she wasn't really a friend, a coworker, an older lady. I said something about not liking Meatloaf, and she was like, I went to see Meatloaf in 1976. He put on like a 4.5 hour concert. I'm like, so he did like 3 songs? But anyway, that's what's going on in America. So Big Van Vader pulled up listening to I Can't Help Fall. What's funnier, him pulling up listening to I Can't Help Falling in Love with You, or
Oh
I
no,
would do anything for love, but I won't do
Vader rocking out to Meatloaf is awesome.
that.
He's
Harley
like
Race in the car with him.
flexing guns and rock and roll. Harley Race is like, I don't know if it's a feud or a human being. I always love the way Harley Race says human being.
Human being.
Anyway, August 18th, 1993, Daytona Beach Ocean Center. Wikipedia doesn't have a attendance here, I don't think. I know the Ocean Center during the mid 90s becomes one of their go-to places for a while.
Yeah. Partially because if you're gonna have Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm. And I think by this point hasn't Bischoff's definitely made the deal with Disney by this point, right?
Yeah. And a lot of them guys live there, or live at least in there, like Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
Let's play like a lot of the agents and the whatever, like Mike Graham, Kevin Sullivan, Dusty.
Well, Tony and Jesse are our hosts for the evening. Tony Schiavone and Jesse Ventura on commentary. And I think we mentioned before, I think we've discussed it before. If we haven't, I am a fan of Tony and Jesse as a commentary team.
Me too.
And they discussed some of the shit going down tonight, how Brian Pillman is injured. Therefore, the WCW Executive Committee or whatever, the Championship Committee, have said that Steve Austin will still defend the WCW Tag Team Championships. His partner will be Lord Steven Regal as they face Arn Anderson and Paul Roma. And I wrote down here, I've mentioned it before. There's a couple other times they do this in WCW. I don't like someone defending someone else's title for a night. I don't like that. And this one turns out okay because the title change, the champion actually gets pinned. But like there's a thing at some point where like Vader defends Rick Rude's United States Championship. I think that was during the Bill Watts era. But I don't like someone defending someone else's title. I don't like that.
Well, WCW had to do that because they filmed everything so far in advance. They weren't able to
Yeah, that's a fair point.
change on the fly. Be like, oh shit, this guy's hurt. So let's do this angle instead. You know what I mean?
Yeah. because Anderson and Roma have probably walked out with the titles on like
Yeah.
at a TV taping 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, in front of a bunch of people that had no idea what was going on anyway. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, again, I just like I said, just a little small picadillo. Not this. It turned out to be a really good match. It's a good tag team match. I just don't like that aspect of it. But
Yeah. But that's the whole reason it is. It's because they
and,
can't do something. You know what I mean? But anyway.
and like we've mentioned both on the show before, I think we both have discussed we both like Paul Roma. We just don't like Paul Roma as a four horseman. Like
Yeah.
Paul Roma, I like Paul. I it's funny because there was like a time where I thought that I didn't like Paul Roma, and then as I go back and watch him, I'm like, yeah, I like the Young Stallions as a tag team. I really like Power and Glory as a tag team.
Yeah.
I really like Paul Orndorff and Paul. Hey, you know what? I really like Paul Roma.
Yeah. Paul Roma's like he was good. He just I think it's like the narrative of him because nobody really personally liked the guy. You know what I mean? They just kind of shit on him or whatever. But and he does have a cocky, shitty attitude from everything I've
Right,
heard.
right.
But I like Paul Roma.
Any notes you have on this match? Like anything specific you wanted to? Any specific spots or anything you noticed?
Not really any spots. I don't like when Arnett for some reason like some wrestlers shouldn't wear like white tights. And I don't know if it's because like the way he's built or whatever, but it's like Arn wearing like all white trunks or whatever. It's like it looks like he's wearing a diaper. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
No, it does. And I don't know why, but and I know he did it. He did it quite a bit. He did it quite a bit when it was the Brainbusters run in the WWF, and then he did it a little bit here. I always think he looks funny when he's got his hair frosted blonde too.
yeah.
I don't know. It's a little shit that you notice when you watch wrestling like we do, but
Yeah. Other than that, like it was just that I shouldn't even say a basic tag team match. It was a decent, solid tag team match, and um, after some miscommunication, Anderson rolls up Steve Austin and pins him for the 1, 2, 3, and
yep,
Anderson and Rome are your new tag team champions.
gets a big pop. The Horsemen win the
Yeah.
titles, and then we come back with Eric Bischoff cutting a promo with Arn Anderson and Paul Roma. And as Roma was cutting his promo, I couldn't tell if Arn was like looking at him like he didn't like him or if he was just like still catching his breath or whatever from the match. But then, of course, Arn cuts your standard Arn promo after Roma's, the what is it, the something about a man's adversity teaches him about himself. Your standard kind of an Arn Anderson. I'm going to use a big word. I'm going to use a big word. It's going to sound fucking cool.
And then, like I said, I know we sometimes talk about age on here. Right now, like back then, you were like, "Oh, Arn Anderson, he's the grizzled veteran, and Paul Roma's his young upstart tag team partner." You know?
Yeah.
Right now, Arn Anderson is 67 and Paul Roma is 65.
Yeah.
Like they could have went to school together.
Right. Well, I mean, if you actually watch, it like I know you have too. You watch it, folks. If you go back and watch Primetime Wrestling from 1986, Paul Roma's already shit. You go back and watch some of those Madison Square Garden shows, probably from late '85. Paul Roma's already wrestling in the WWF.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, but they made it out like it's like you think about it being like, oh, he's like this up and comer or whatever. It's like now
he's not. Yeah, he's not new, but he's new to you, WCW.
Yeah. But he debuted in '84.
Yeah, he's very, like I said, he very quickly winds up wrestling for the WWF and at like MSG cards and shit very early in his career, and then he just fucking stuck around. I bet he just played good soldier, in the WWF, and because they always like he may have been like the lower part of the mid card, but they always were doing something with Paul Roma.
Yeah. And I think he's one of those guys that, like, how do I say it? Like, they always just, like, he was kind of like a homegrown guy, and maybe he'll come out of his shell and do something, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But he was always just a really solid, good hand, especially in tag teams.
Definitely.
So
then the next match that's on this clash was, and I actually had to write this down. Surprisingly, I was not a fan of this match. I didn't think these two guys meshed very well. It's Bobby Eaton and Too Cold Scorpio, and it's the first match I've ever seen with either one of them where they actually miss a couple of spots and there's some holes in the game. I was like really surprised because I was expecting. I saw Too Cold versus Eaton. I was like, "Hells yeah, here we go!"
yeah.
And it was
Even,
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. They just did not seem to mesh very well. These two.
no, it's even in my notes. It was like Too Cold wins. It's kind of a letdown.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And did you notice when Tony Schiavone pointed out the Hawaiian Tropic CEO? Did you notice that?
Mm-mm.
Or did you hear it? I can't remember what he said the guy's name was, but he was like, da da da. I'm sure Hawaiian Tropic was probably like their main sponsor,
Right.
They probably had like the Hawaiian Tropic girls like taking the belts and shit, But he has a kid with him, and the kid's wearing like one of those like 1990s denim jackets with like the purple and pink, and, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which a boy could wear or a girl could wear. Tony Schiavone was like, "There's CEO, Hawaiian Tropic CEO, blah 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 da with his child." Like he didn't like. I don't think Tony knew if it was a boy or a girl, so he was just like with his child.
And I did not catch that.
Yeah, like Tony didn't know what to call this kid, and he didn't want to like, call the kid the wrong thing on TV. So, yeah,
Right,
like
with the
his
sponsor.
child. Yeah, with his child enjoying the show. So, yeah, but like you said, it wasn't terrible, but it was just kind of like, didn't really hit for me.
Nope. And that's what I was gonna say. It may have been really good, but maybe I just overhyped it in my brain. But I just like I said, I just very rarely do I see these two guys have any like not miss spots, but just like the timing seemed a little off, and you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
Scorpio does wind up beating Beautiful Bobby. I put down wins with a pin. I don't even know. I guess I didn't write down what the actual finish was, but
He hit like a 360. The
next match.
Flash.
The next match is a to settle the score from the last Clash of the Champions that we watched. It is Max Payne versus Johnny B. Bad. Mask versus Norma Jean. Of course, Norma Jean is Max Payne's guitar. Max Payne comes to the ring. Johnny B. Bad comes to the ring, and
he looks ridiculous.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny because my note I was about to say my note literally says Meryl looks fucking ridiculous.
He looks ridiculous. So stupid. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, this is when I started not liking Johnny B. Bad. It's funny because like in this thing, I'm actually a bigger fan of Max Payne than I am Johnny B. Bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But because like Max Payne actually wasn't like a bad worker, I don't think.
Oh no, we discussed it last week. Like Max Payne, I like Max Payne. I didn't even mind him as Man Mountain Rock. The look, the Man Mountain Rock thing probably could have worked if he would have not been in big pajamas. If he would have, but see that was the problem with the WWF at that time was everything was Vince's vision of what he thought things in the world looked like. Like Vince's vision of rappers was men on a mission instead of the gangsters. Yeah. Vince's vision of the rock and roll guy was Man Mountain Rock instead of, I don't know, whoever. Van Hammer was more accurate than Man Mountain Rock.
Yeah, but Vince, um, obviously it's not the same thing because they were bigger stars. But like I always said about like the Man Mountain Rock thing, it's like he LOD'd him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like he took like this character that was cool because it was gritty and dirty and whatever, and then like took it and just sanitized it. Because
Yeah.
even when he turned face, he was still gritty, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But
Yeah.
like him and
And
Cactus are an underrated tag team, I
oh
think.
yeah. Oh yeah, like I said in the WWF, the worst thing that happened to him was the presentation. Like they put him in fucking tie-dye pajamas and gave him that stupid WWF logo guitar. And yeah, it wasn't
Which is
good.
bad.
But this match here, the
It's quick and to the point.
it's
I'll give
quick
it
and to the
that.
point. Definitely, Max Payne takes off Johnny B. Bad's mask, but he's got another mask underneath. Max gets a little distracted, goes up, misses a top rope splash, and Johnny B. Bad just pins him. Like Aaron said, very quick. I don't know if somebody was hurting or what, but they got in and out in this fucking thing.
You know, it's actually pretty believable. You know, like if a big guy like that would just miss a move, it probably would knock him out.
Yeah. Like he beat himself pretty much.
Yeah.
And then I did put something that I think is curious because Jesse Ventura interviews Johnny B. Bad after the match. And he says this Sunday he's going to take the mask off and everybody will get to see what Johnny B. Bad really looks like. And I was like, well, I mean, we saw your face. We saw your face every day until like 3 months ago. So we already know what you look like. Like this is not a mystery is what Johnny B. Bad looks like.
And it's not even like they like jacked his face up or whatever to make it whatever. Yeah. It was just like he just took it off and he was just Johnny B. Bad. So I'm saying the whole thing was like shooting him in the face, like that was a cool angle and stuff, but I don't know.
The execution stunk.
Yeah.
So the next thing on this show, it's a Flair for the Gold, and it is the one Aaron and I were talking before we started recording. This is we don't need to talk about this ad nauseum. We don't need to hit the whole thing about this because it's one of the most infamous moments in wrestling history. It's been talked about to death, and as a matter of fact, it's been probably talked about to death in our show because it's definitely in our Hall of Shame. And I'm sure we've brought it up numerous times. We will talk about it. We're not just going to skip over it. We will talk about the segment. But, of course, this is the classic Flair for the Gold with the Shockmaster reveal. But one thing that I did write down here that I noticed that was funny that might not get talked about. Okay, so, of course, Ric Flair has Fifi, his maid. Is she still currently in real life today, his wife, or are they broke up again?
I don't think they ever technically got married. I think they just had like a
okay.
commitment ceremony, but
All right. Yeah, okay. I just knew at one point they came back together again, but I didn't. You know how Flair is.
yeah.
But Flair's guests are Sting and the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith. And here's what I wrote down was funny. Sting says, Ric Flair asked Sting and Bulldog about, the fall brawl coming up and blah, blah, blah. Now anyway, Sting says, yeah, we've been cooking, Jim Ross. We've been cooking all over the place and blah, blah, blah. And then Davey Boy Smith, and you can tell Flair and Sting are annoyed by it. Davey Boy Smith proceeds to take the word cooking. And he's like, yeah, Sting is cooking. The British Bulldog is cooking. WCW is cooking. Ric Flair is cooking. The fans are cooking. And like Flair does the whole, and he tries to ask Bulldog something. He's like, in a full brawl of the War Games is going to be cooking. And then Sting is finally like, all right. Like he literally cuts Bulldog off. Like, I don't know if you noticed that or not, but Bulldog was just, he grabbed that word cooking, man, and he was cooking with it. And they're just like, Flair and Sting are like, okay, Davey.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, everything was cooking for Davey.
That was always the biggest hole in his game, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
like he wasn't terrible, but like that was like the biggest hole in it.
Yeah, definitely. When they wanted to give him when they gave him the heel push finally in late '95 against Diesel and Brett and all that, it was very smart putting him with Cornette
Yeah.
to give him a mouthpiece, because you're right, he kind of trail off, or like in this instance where he sees that a word got a pop or whatever, so now he's just going to say it over and over and over again.
I just and I think I don't think it would ever been a long term thing, but it would have been nice to see him when he was with Cornette or whatever get a title, like a maybe a 3 pay-per-view title reign or something. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the main reason why. Oh well, I mean, not the only reason, but one of the reasons was that can he carry a promo and all that.
And like you said, like we discussed last week too, he always seems out of place in WCW.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
But of course, after Bulldog's excessive use of the word cooking, Sid Vicious comes out with Buddy Lee Parker, with Colonel Robert Parker, and the first time we've seen them on one of these Clash of the Champions, a very young Harlem Heat, who Sid, I believe, played a role in getting them into the company.
Yeah, he played a role in getting them into the business. And then they're so now new in here. They're still Kane and Cole.
Yeah.
Colonel Robert Parker talked about Sid being his manager, and Sid had like money issues with WCW. Like he didn't feel like he was getting paid what he was supposed to be getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
And he went for like a pay-per-view or something, and it's part of the reason why he wasn't at that Starcade where it was supposed to be Vader and Sid. You know?
Oh yeah.
Well, he went in there because he thought they shorted him. I can't remember how much, was like 20 grand or something. And Rob Parker was with him, and he was like demanding his 20 grand. And Rob Parker was like nervous about it. Like, is this guy stirring a stink in this office? Is it gonna fuck with my,
right,
my business because I'm with him? And he said they ended up giving him his 20 grand. He was like, for the other fact of the matter, you're gonna give him $6,000. And they just cut Colonel Parker a $6,000 check. He's like, all right.
well, I'll be damned.
Good Lord. All right. Yeah, that's just but yeah, from everything I know, Sid had a lot to do with Booker and Stevie Ray getting into the business. And like you said, the next thing it happens, we've talked about it a lot. Everybody's talked about it a lot. And I can say this, even if he wouldn't have fell on his flat on his forking arse, it still sucked.
Yeah, the glittery
the
stormtrooper helmet.
And a fuzzy jacket. It's like, what is he?
What is
Like,
the
what is it?
Shockmaster?
Yeah.
And
Is
also,
is he like a futuristic pimp?
well, actually, what I think is it would have to be that the original Black Scorpion got fat. And he wound up getting let go before the reveal could be made, and it turned out that they just gave it to Ric Flair because listen to the voice.
Him and Sting mended their fences. Like Sting found out the original Black Scorpion fell on hard times.
I'm no longer the Black Scorpion. I am the Fat Scorpion. The Fat Scorpion.
But yeah, like I said, I don't even know what the gimmick was supposed to be.
I don't know
even if he would have, even if he wouldn't have fell.
Well, and that's the thing. Cheap. It's like Trump with healthcare. It's like they had the concept of a plan, whatever the fuck that means. like they obviously took the time to put a bunch of glitter on the helmet. You know, look at what this. They took the time to find the furry jacket. Like somebody had an idea of something of what this was.
Supposed to be, and it's like, I don't know. Like, why didn't you just call him Big Steel Man or US Steel or whatever, right, and just go with that? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Or
instead, they chucked him through a wall.
Fuck it, name him another natural disaster. You know, it's
it's a tsunami.
Yeah, something. But no, they came up with this.
And like I said, if he wouldn't have fell through the wall, it still would have been bad. The guy himself, though, is I think a really good big man wrestler, and
Yeah,
seems like one of the nicer guys in the business. But yeah, this was
I
all
have
the way bad.
I have an autograph. Well, he says it's ring worn. It's a wrestler. He could have been working me, but I have an autographed
Yeah.
ring worn tugboat hat
All right.
from Uncle Fred. But yeah, so the Shockmaster segment happens. Bulldog's cooking. After the break, they come back, and of course, Jesse and Tony can't resist making a couple jokes.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you throw a 400-pound guy through a fucking wall and he falls on his face. Jesse Ventura is going to make fun of it.
He's not going to ignore that. Exactly.
He's not
just
going to ignore that.
Jesse is not a move on kind of guy.
Yeah. He's a dog with a bone with some shit like
that. But the next matchup is probably
it's the best match on the show.
Yeah, same notes here. It's just the best match on the show. It's for the TV title. I wrote down here. Once again, WCW is like, we're only paying Buffer for one Ready to Rumble, because this is another one where he goes, man your battle stations.
Man your battle stations. And it's WCW television champion Paul Orndorff defending against Ricky Steamboat. And I know you're a big fan of Hogan Orndorff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's like is that your favorite angle or whatever?
It's my favorite Hogan feud.
Yeah. But I actually am a bigger fan of both of these guys when they're in WCW than they are in WWF.
Okay. Yeah. I would say I will agree with, I will totally agree with Steamboat. Like Steamboat, to me, outside, he's better when he's outside the WWF with any promotion, whether it's Mid-Atlantic, the NWA, WCW. I know that he had a big run in the WWF, and he had that Intercontinental title match with Randy, and he was there for like the era of the first 3 WrestleManias. But he's kind of like, when I talk about Bulldog and WCW, to me, Steamboat never quite fits WWF.
Yeah.
Even though he had the big run and he was really popular and he had some great matches, and he just never fits. He's like, I totally agree with you. He's much better in this company, in whatever form it's in, whether it's Mid-Atlantic, NWA, or WCW.
I think so. And like I said, I think Paul was better over here. I don't know why. I just enjoyed him better there.
His I don't know. This is what it is. It's just a note because you're watching the show, so you're taking notes, whatever's in your brain. This is you can tell that this is around the time where his arm size becomes very, very obvious.
Yeah.
It starts to become very obvious with his atrophy and stuff in his left arm.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed it.
Not that he's still not that he's not still in incredible fucking shape. Look at me over here with my fucking pot belly. But
yeah,
I just
and one of the cooler WCW entrance themes too. Paul Orndorff's music.
Yeah, no, this music. I actually have a note here because it was last week. Or no, I don't remember when it was. At some point that I mentioned, it was like a really good. His theme is a really good bad guy music. Actually, I wrote down on this for this week's show in my notes. Paul Orndorff's music sounds like an asshole.
Yeah.
Like his music has attitude. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. It's just a good jam. It's like this and the Stud Stable, Rick Rude. It's like, that's good shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this match is really good. 2 pros doing it that top tier level. And this has I'm generally not, a lot of times I'm not a fan of I don't say I'm not a fan of near falls. I am a fan of near falls, but I'm not a fan of like choreographed where they're just doing near fall, near fall, near fall, near fall. It just seems fake or choreographed or
Yeah.
whatever. These guys do it in a very realistic fashion. Like the near falls, there were a lot of near falls in this match, but every one of them seemed plausible, you know.
Yeah.
There's even a couple that look sloppy, but they made them look sloppy on purpose. Like that's fucking professional. Like you can tell, like we're gonna make it look sloppy. You know, when I give you this
Yeah.
bridge or whatever, you know, I'm gonna look like it's gonna look sloppy, not because we're fucking it up, but because I'm giving you a lot of resistance in the bridge or whatever.
Yeah. Or your body's tired and
Right.
whatever. It's good stuff.
I agree. And again, after there's one point in the match where like I honestly I couldn't remember if because I knew eventually Steamboat's the TV champion, but I couldn't remember in my brain if this was the match. At one point, I thought somebody was going to get disqualified because there's a point in the match where Orndorff, quote unquote, thinks he won, and he goes and grabs the belt, and the belt's like in the ring, but they never use it. Because I was expecting like a fuck finish, you know, somebody with the belt, but no, Steamboat pins Orndorff with a small package to win the TV title. Then the belt comes into play after the match because the dastardly Paul Orndorff pile drives Ricky Steamboat on the title belt.
Yes. As they continue to play his music. It's like, oh, okay. Well, we're just gonna keep playing his music. Anyway, I liked it. I thought it was a good match. I liked that they did a little angle afterwards to keep it going, and I don't know if we're gonna see any more of it, but hopefully we do.
We might. I know. I'm pretty sure it continues into Fall Brawl, but I can't remember if we're going to see it in any of the clashes coming up. But speaking of Fall Brawl, after the match, Tony Schiavone and Jesse Ventura discuss Fall Brawl coming up on pay-per-view. And then we get, buddy, you know, when they gave these guys to Harley Race, he was like, are those even human beings? But no, like, you know, when they gave these fat fucks to Harley Race, it was just like, oh, for fuck's sake. Seriously, you want me to do something with these fucking idiots?
Like Colossal Kongs. King and Awesome, the Colossal Kongs. I think they're in our Hall of Shame too.
They're definitely in our Hall of Shame.
They're just they're just so bad. I mean, it's not even bad. It's not even like good bad, like a Mantar or something. You know what I mean? It's just like they just suck.
Oh, they fucking stink. They absolutely suck. I mean, I remember even like, and I don't want to say even because they stink no matter what. They suck. But like the one Kong, I don't remember which one it is. I'd have to go back into my shit and figure out, like, look at which piggy face is under the mask. But one of them wrestles as Awesome Kong in Global. And actually gets like a big push and everything. It's like, oh my god, they're giving this. It's like when World Class gave Black Bart their belt.
Yeah, it's like, you know, this is going downhill.
But yeah, it's Awesome and King, the Colossal Kongs, the big fat bastards.
So I mean, Awesome did have a child in wrestling.
He adopted a black girl.
Awesome Kong Jr. from TNA fame.
She would be, yeah, whatever. She'd be like Hall of Fame women's material now. Like have had a Hall of Fame women's career in WWE now if she wouldn't have got pregnant and left.
Yeah.
Because she was that good. But these guys, back to this Awesome Kong. Oof. This one actually had larger breasts, I believe. But yeah, these two big fat assholes come to the ring. They both walk and huff like they should always be wearing their sleep apnea machine.
Yes. And then they talk about how awesome they are and whatever, and just some behemoths that can't be toppled. And then Sting slams both of them in the first 20 seconds.
This is
And it's like,
another buffer
okay,
man. This is another buffer man your battle stations too.
yeah.
I
Which
do.
with
It
the
is
with the colossal Kongs, it should be man your bathrooms.
man your buffet stations.
Yes.
But yes, the colossal
And
Kongs are facing Sting and Ric Flair.
Flair, I don't know if they were trying to minimize the amount of time he was in the ring or what, which I thought about that, but I'm like, no, he just had that 2 out of 3 falls match. I think Flair just didn't want to work with these guys
I don't disagree.
because he doesn't tag in at all.
The thing that's great, the best thing about this match is like right off the bat, Sting like slams both of these fat fucks. And the
Yeah.
best thing about the whole match is Harley Race going, "That's impossible.
Yeah.
That's impossible." I thought that
Yeah.
was funny as shit. He's like, "That's impossible. I got these two big fat fucks," and he slammed them in 30 seconds.
The wheels just came off it.
Harley makes the whole thing with that reaction.
Yeah. Like the whole wheels came off it. Flair worked more with Harley Race on the outside than he did with either one of the colossal dongs. And then Sting ends up hitting a big splash onto, I don't know if it was King or Awesome for the 1, 2, 3, and Ric Flair and Sting win. And like I said, Flair never even tagged in. I just think he was like, nah, I'm good.
And you know what? If they were gonna do this as a way to put Flair and Sting over, they did it properly. You know, it was fast. But yeah, like I said, the highlight of the whole thing was Harley. That's impossible.
Yeah. His investment just went down the tubes.
You're right. Yeah. So then Tony comes, or after the match, Tony interviews. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say Tony Schiavone interviews Ric Flair and Sting, as they are going to be facing apparently each other this Saturday night on WCW Saturday Night for the NWA Championship.
Yeah, and as they're cutting their promo, I'm sometimes like even when I'm not at a show where it's like an old show, I'm a people watcher. You know what I mean? Like I like looking into the crowd and stuff.
Yeah.
And I noticed, like, I don't know if it's just because it was 1993 or what, but a lot of the adult male fans look like perverts.
Lots of mustaches.
Yeah, and like stringy, like a whispery mustache and like stringy hair and like Dahmer glasses, and it's like, you all look like perverts.
The reason that they look like perverts is because the modern
They're
day
perverts.
Well, no, it's because the modern day perverts never changed their look from the 90s.
True that.
You know what I mean? Like they keep the look, therefore that be the look that was a tad bit stylish back then now becomes the pervert look.
Because they're still trying to stay young.
Mm-hmm.
It's like nobody thinks that's young anymore. We all just think you're a pervert.
Right.
But yeah, anyway.
You have that mustache. You smell like a pack of fucking cigarettes.
Yeah, you pervert.
Shit. Up next is I put down this one of these tag teams has to be a real heart tugger for Aaron, because we have Ravishing Rick Rude teaming with the Equalizer. And you love Rick Rude's one of your favorites, and the Equalizer is one of your least favorites.
I hate that guy. I think he's terrible. I don't hate him personally because I don't know him, but like I didn't like any incarnation of him. I didn't like the Equalizer. I didn't like Evad Sullivan, which was stupid because I've met dyslexic people in my life, but they didn't say their name backwards.
Right.
And they didn't talk in reverse. Fucking stupid. That's not how that works. Anyway.
But yes, it's Rick Rude and the Equalizer against Dustin Rhodes and a mystery partner. And I did not catch it. If they mentioned it, I just missed it. Was Dustin supposed to have a different partner that wasn't able to wrestle, or was the mystery partner thing the original angle here?
Oh, the mystery partner thing was the original angle. They were doing the whole you can win this Camaro GT whatever thing.
The Z28, the Camaro
Z28. Z28. Yeah.
Well, Dustin Rhodes comes out, and I wrote down here, as you watch these Clash of the Champions from the early 90s, people tend to forget until you go back and watch the shit. People really tend to forget how fucking over Dustin Rhodes was in WCW.
Yeah.
As a babyface. Like,
oh, yeah.
This guy was fucking over like Rover, man. The crowds loved him. Crowds fucking loved Dustin Rhodes. Like, and he's one of those guys where I'm like, to me, he didn't get over because of his dad. Like, Dustin Rhodes got over because he was his own man. Dustin fucking Rhodes.
I mean, he got in because of his dad.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I know it helped that his dad was Dusty Rhodes.
But like he started getting more over when he dropped the lisp and like dressing like his dad and just kind of doing his own and started doing like his own thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
But yes, the mystery partner, originally it looks like it's going to be Road Warrior Animal because the Z28 comes out. Animal is in the it's kind of silly, but whatever. Because like Animal comes out in the Z28, and then Rick Rude's like, "Oh, we knew it was gonna be Road Warrior Animal, and we were prepared for that." I was like, "You didn't need to do that part. Like that sounds stupid. Like we knew it was gonna be one half of a tag team." But anyway, it turns out to be Hawk.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure at this point Animal can't wrestle.
Is he a Lloyd's of London guy?
I think so. And I think he cashed in on it.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I think he won. I think he was one of the I can't wrestle because of the Lloyd's of London insurance policy deals.
Yeah, they're going to take all my money back.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to stay out for an X amount of time. So because I don't remember, because I know Hawk had a bit of a run there. I think he got up into like at least like 94.
Yeah, because he winds up teaming with Kensuke Sasaki, right?
Yeah.
Is that Hawk? That's Hawk, right? Yeah, that's not Animal.
Yeah, it's Hawk.
Wait, hold on. Did Animal team with Sasaki in Japan and then Hawk teamed with him over here?
I believe so.
I get confused about that time when they were like at odds with each other. You know?
Yeah.
Like there's that time between like 92 and 94, 95 where they're sometimes they're together, sometimes they're at odds with each other. Because obviously mostly Hawk's fault. You know, he was fucked up and shit, and it's kind of like the Davey Boy Dynamite thing.
Yeah, Animal and Kensuke Sasaki were like the Power Warriors or whatever. And then Hawkeye does some shit with like he has a little mini feud with Rick Rude that comes out of this, and then there's like some stuff with that Kurosawa guy in WCW, and then he's just kind of out, and then they show back up on Raw for a little bit, I think. No, I'm not gonna put the Road Warrior title.
Nope, they do WCW. Okay, so you have this, and like you said, Hawk does his own thing in WCW in like 94-ish. And then
in 95 they come back to WCW together.
Yeah, they come back to WCW together once Nitro starts up.
Yeah.
And then 97 is when they go back to the WWF.
Yeah.
You probably thought 93 because the event that they come back in the WWF in 97 is when they took Raw to the Manhattan Center for a one-night thing. So you probably thought it was 93 because it looked like a 93 Raw. But anyway.
I don't really have a lot of notes on the match other than Equalizer was terrible, and I just thought this match was kind of just was what it was.
It was, and I the one like I said, the couple of notes that I have on the match were this match. The crowd's really into this match, but mostly because of Dustin. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying the crowd wasn't fucking jacked because the Road Warriors were back. I'm just saying, like, work wise, again, I just keep saying it. Dustin Rose is fucking over, man.
Yep.
And okay, so the end of this match, let me see. The end of the match is kind of clunky because Hawk kind of bumps Dustin on top of Equalizer for Dustin to get the pin.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the match.
God. And now it is time for our main event of the evening. WCW World Heavyweight Champion Big Van Vader versus the British Bulldog. And if Vader gets disqualified, he loses the championship.
Yeah, and I don't think they did a good enough job like explaining that to the crowd
I agree.
because they had Mikey Buffer say that the disqualifications were waived. So like if you're thinking this or whatever, and say you didn't watch Saturday night from last week or something, you'd be like, oh, so this is a no disqualification match, you know?
Yeah, it was confusing. And even Ventura's like Tony's explaining it. Like if Vader gets disqualified, Bulldog gets the championship. And Jesse's like, well, it counts the other way too. If Bulldog gets disqualified, Vader's the champion. And Tony's like, well, that's the way it always works, Jesse. And Jesse's like, I'm just saying. Like everybody was
Yeah.
confused about what was going
Who
on.
booked this? Who booked this? Paul Heyman?
Very
Feels like an
convoluted.
ECW super show. Yeah. But the match itself is kind of like pretty much everything else on this episode of Clash of the Champions. I thought it was kind of just there. I don't think it was like a terrible match, but I don't think it was great.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it was kind of there.
It's yeah, meh. It's like Scott Levy. This whole show, meh. Other than Orndorff and Steamboat and Harley Race going, that's impossible. But yeah, pretty much the referee goes down, so he can't see Harley Race clip the knee of Davey Boy Smith, so the disqualification thing didn't matter anyway. It's kind of a silly stipulation if you're not going to use it, honestly, if it's not going to pay off to anything.
Yeah. It's like I said, you could have did like a Clash to pay-per-view thing with this, with Vader being like, you never pinned me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I got disqualified for you to be the champion. But anyway, it just kind of was there, and I think this whole show was that way.
Yeah, Vader pins Davey, and then it's funny because another thing I noticed about Tony Schiavone's commentary was obviously we are now done with the stupid Lost in Cleveland thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Vader wins by pinfall after, like I said, Race clips Davey Boy's knee when Davey is trying to do a suplex to Vader. Vader pins Davey, and then Cactus Jack returns and attacks Vader. And as he's coming to the ring, Tony Schiavone goes, Cactus Jack, the last time we saw him. And he doesn't finish. He's just like, no, not even going to mention it.
Yeah.
Last time he saw him, he was in a stupid fucking angle.
Yeah, he was lost in Cleveland. Yeah, but yeah, Cactus is back, and we're about to get more of one of the better feuds of WCW: Cactus Jack and Big Van Vader.
Mm-hmm. And Cactus is about to go on one of, I mean, it's kind of brief, but he's about to go on one of his better runs
Yeah.
in that company, and it's going to kind of springboard into ECW and the WWF, obviously. But yeah, we're about to see some good Cactus Jack shit coming up. That is Clash 24, and I think you can tell by our comments throughout the show, folks, when I do did we go down, stay status quo, or go up with this Clash? I think we can both agree this one was a step down from the last show.
I do agree.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because they were contractually obligated to a Clash, and like I think Fall Brawl is like the upcoming Sunday.
Yeah, I just think they're out of ideas.
Yeah, it's coming up, and like you said, I think some of the stuff you might be right in the fact that some of the creative is affected by the fact that they're taping shit like 4 months in advance too.
Oh, I know it is. They've had guys that'll just fucking leave, and that's why somebody has to substitute for somebody. You know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's part of what it is. Or a guy gets injured because like he's in a car accident or something. It's like, well, fuck, we've already played this, and we can't go back and do that. You know, it's like, yeah, it's a fucking mess.
But that was Clash 24. Clash 25 that we'll be talking about next week. We're back in Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida, at the Bayfront Center, November 10th, 1993. And we'll be on, and we're not going to review it on this show, but November 10th, 93, we are almost to one of WCW's crowning achievements in their history is the company called WCW, which is Flair and Vader at Starrcade 93.
It's one of the best things they ever did.
Yep, as WCW, yes. I'm just thinking about the time that they were called WCW. That Flair Vader shit is, like you said, it's one of the best things they ever did. It's one of the greatest shits they ever took.
I totally agree.
But do you have any parting words for our listeners this week?
I do not, except thanks for listening. And yeah, want to like us, rate us, review us, that all helps. So we appreciate all of it.
And for those of you that listen to Reliving the Extreme and have noticed lack of episodes there, stay tuned. This week I will have an update. We're coming to record a short little update on what we're going to be doing with that show. Other than that, we're going to sign off for this week. We'll see you next time around. As I said, Clash of the Champions 25 coming up November 10th, 1993. And we will see you next week, everybody, here on the We Can't Wrestle podcast.